Hello, everyone. This is Jon Barnato, team leader of KWCA Premier. I'm super happy to have our special guest today, Mega Agent Dennis Elliott. He started out with us about as a newer agent, not new, but newer agent, grown all the way to one of our top individual agents in selling homes here in the Sacramento area. Thank you so much, Dennis, for being here, man.
Thanks for having me. Thanks.
Awesome. I just want a little highlight, give you some credentials there. So last year, I have you down for closing 25 transactions, man. That is awesome, especially since half the year was sort of down as the interest rates rose. So kudos to you, man. So
thank you. Thanks.
I know this year right now you have a 7 closed, but you have 6 active listings as well. So we'll talk a little bit about how to get those active listings, but also I know you also started a property management company this year, right? So
yes, I did. I really started it. I would say that I got serious about it this year. So it was actually started about I want to say over a year ago, maybe close to 2 years. But I would say this year I stopped. I realized that this is not a year to be indecisive. So I took the decisive step to go serious with it. And
awesome. So your transaction a little down, but you still have 7 closed, 6 active listings. And I know you told me earlier you took your property management from all the way up to 33 doors in about 8 months, right? So serious work on that. So kudos to you creating alternative income sources, and we can talk a little bit about that. But let me back up a little bit. I know you're having a lot of success. So where are you getting your leads right now? Buyer leads or seller leads? You have 6 listings, so let's start there. Where are you getting your active listings right now? So
active listings. Where am I getting them from?
What sources are you getting those from?
So I get online calls. I've been getting some. It's kind of like all over the board, honestly. Okay. Some referral business from past clients. This year has kind of been my primary focus as far as lead gen. So I get leads from all sorts of. I'm a partner agent with Redfin, and I have several other referral sources that I use, including KWs. That's a really good one I take advantage of. And then, a whole series of other referral services. But this year, I have not been going heavy on those referral, not intentional. I don't know if it's intentional or, you have to pay a whopping fee every time you do referrals. And so absolutely. I think it's been more about this year. I've made the conscious decision to really focus on my sphere of influence. Awesome. I know that that's the one thing that if I do, and it really, honestly, if any agent does, as you know, then that will pay the biggest dividends, especially in a challenged market like right now. So all in all, that's where I've been really focusing most of my energy is on my
awesome.
sphere.
Let's dig a little deeper on that. So I know, when you get those referral services, you're paying 35% referral fees out there. So kudos for you to making that switch. And what have you been doing with your sphere? Have you been calling them, loving them? What are you doing? So.
Yeah, exactly. Just try my number one thing, especially that I've been so property management is so enormously time consuming that it's been this year has been honestly like I'm working 2 full-time jobs. It feels like that every single day. And which I know how that feels to be in multiple. You probably have like 4 more, full-time jobs, and especially as a parent too. So
I do wear a lot of hats. I appreciate that. But
I wear a lot of hats.
So, but kudos to you because you're trying to build both. And with your sphere, are you physically calling them, saying how's it going? What are you saying to them? So
I to be honest, that it's something I get better at every year as an agent, but I still have call reluctance. Certain people I dread, but I've noticed about myself that when it comes to call reluctance, I try to just my goal is if I can just make my 10 calls per day, because I know you and I have talked about this.
Yeah, we talked about
then
that.
That's literally, I know for a fact that that's all I need to do, and the business will take care of itself. But do I do that? No. But
do it consistently, right? So
but that being said, I just focus on if a good day for me is if I actually make 10 calls, and it doesn't even matter to me, or connections. It can be a text message, it can be a phone call, email, just connecting with at least 10 active willing buyers or sellers, right? And then I kind of prioritize my top 10 daily based on a number of factors, like which is most likely to close, which do I mean, it's mostly
Yeah,
people
you're,
at
you're
this
going to take
point that,
the highest priority of who's likely to do a transaction and count down from there, right? So
yeah, but then there's the easy calls that are like what I consider, I kind of have self-termed it my VIP list, my VIP,
okay.
and those are like, I consider them almost like my friends and family. Those are my clients that we're so close with. They're almost like friends, they're
Mhm.
buddies. So it's not hard for me to call them. And so if I have to make my calls, the call reluctance, if it's someone that's going to be really short tempered or snappy, or
Yeah.
they might go to the bottom of the list, or if it's something that's a more cold lead, but it's, like I mostly just focusing on the people I already have talked to in
So
my sphere.
we're a little back in time. I remember when we first talked about you coming over. You were at another brokerage and you came over to Keller Williams. I know you were working it, and after about a year, I think we had a talk, and you were like, "Hey, man, I know I can be a top agent. What are they doing that I'm not doing?" And I
Yeah.
know we talked, and we kudos to you. I remember that conversation where I was like, "Hey, man, just talk to your people, take your leads, talk to 5 people a day." And I remember you coming back. I love this, and you said, "Well, I can talk to 5 people. I'll do 10 a day." And I know that really and you can, and I can hear it. That habit that you have has contributed to your growth to being a top agent now. So, can you speak a little
Definitely.
bit your mindset around that, and how have you gotten to your VIPs and got that list going? So.
Well, if you wanted to, so about mindset, I think mindset is honestly everything. I found myself struggling mentally this year and having to kind of stop myself from getting in that negative thought pattern of like, the doom and gloom, sort of like, oh, it's all the market's going south,
Yeah.
going,
Yeah.
and because it's not. The honestly, there's always going to be people buying and selling homes in any market, and yes, it's been challenge. That obviously the main challenge this year has been interest rates going up, and buyers are just really squeezed because prices are too high for what they want, or really what they want, or are willing or able to buy, right? And so prices are too high, and interest rates has squeezed buyers. But there's always still going to be the sellers out there who need to sell. I think that's another thing. I haven't been taking every listing. I've stopped. Even last year, I would pretty much just sign on anyone who wanted to give me a listing. I would sign
Yeah.
them on. And this year, I've been finding that so many deals are falling out. If you're not having the honest, conversations,
About price
and
and those sort of things, right? Yeah.
yeah, and dealing with honest, realistic sellers, then all it's going to amount to with, I don't like working with a client if I don't feel like I can do 100% for them. And I if it's so I it's important to me that the expectations are set up the right way the first. And so I've been actually turning down a lot of business this year for that reason. The unrealistic sellers, trying to focus on those who, really, I would say all of my sellers, that my active listings or the ones that are soon to be active, are realistic sellers and sellers that have equity that they can work with, not ones
Awesome.
that are demanding 50,000, 75,000 more than their home is worth.
Awesome. I love that you're saying that you're working at a level that your business can have, you can turn down clients that are not realistic, but also too, you're defining who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with. And that's a beautiful thing in your business, and kudos to you on that.
Absolutely.
That's a key as an agent grows, that you need to define who you like, who you work with, who's your agent base, who you try to attract. I mean, who's your client base, and then go from there, right? So,
Well, yeah, and then more kind of on that with is that I find that the kind of clients that you work with get into relationship, a working
yeah.
relationship. It kind of has a tendency. I mean, as much as we like to, consider ourselves like strong and resilient and a rock, and we, can take any, it really, we do, clients and people, and everything rubs off on us. So
Yeah,
we become what we surround ourselves with. And
absolutely.
I don't want to be the kind of person that becomes rotten because I'm working with all rotten clients out. So you can edit that part if you want.
I know, I watched it, no, but like that's about like, yeah, protecting your mindset, right? So a little bit on
Yeah.
that. Like as you said, the market's a little rough with interest rates. I just looked at the stats, month over month, where compared to last year, about 48% down on transactions closed in Sacramento, and you are still having a bunch of listings out there, closings, and doing property management. What I know you talked about getting down on the market a little bit yourself. So what are you doing to keep your mindset going and keeping a positive outlook that in this business? So right
I
now.
would say I have to remind myself that just to take it one day at a time, because I think the one thing that saves me the most especially when I start getting in that kind of downward spiral,
Yeah,
bad
that
mindset,
little depression going, right?
it
Well,
just get it. Yeah. The market will get you down, will get you depressed sometimes right now. But I honestly, and this is going to sound so ridiculously simple and everyone's heard it before, but attitude of gratitude. If you just start your day waking up, so to speak, on the right side of the bed and literally just find something to be grateful for and start your day off that way. If I do that myself, my whole day goes better. And then lo and behold, next thing I know, I have like a listing, and it's amazing how that works. But if you get in the mindset of this market's gone to crap, and it's all bad, and it's just going to
yeah,
tank, and I need to get another, then that's the result that you're going to get.
yeah,
Honestly, the
you're not going
universe
to
will
make the
deliver it
calls,
to
and
you.
you're going to
Yeah.
you're gonna have that. Excellent, man. I love that gratitude. I'm a big fan of gratitude, so kudos to you. Let's talk a little bit on a sidetrack. Side here, you have your property management business going. I know we talked about that a couple of years ago, and we worked toward you helping you get your broker's license. So kudos to you on getting into that. And I know you put your blood, sweat, and tears in that. So tell us a little about that process. How was it? Yeah. So.
Yeah. And thanks for your help with honestly, you were kind of like my inspiration. So I appreciate
Awesome.
all the support from you personally for encouraging me to get my broker's license. And that's, I never take that for granted. I mean, just, it's an incredible amount of work, but I feel like my opportunities are just, opening up and more and more and more every day. The property management business like I was kind of mentioning earlier, I wasn't serious. I was kind of like one foot in the door and one foot for the long, because there was a reason for that, and I had to get really real with myself and be honest. I had to get honest with myself. Last year, I remember thinking like every day, like I need to should I continue on this route, or do I need to just pull the plug and close the company? And I just kept being back and forth, and then because I was just so back and forth on everything, I wasn't moving forward. And
Right.
so this year, I just said, you know what, screw it, like take a chance, just try it,
Yeah.
and actually go all in, actually put both feet through the door. And what that's resulted in is our growing to, me now having a full service accounting staff, hiring. I mean, we're actually functioning like a real company. I have admins. People,
Nice.
so support systems because it's a massive, massive, massive amount of work.
It is.
And
I have a property management company too, so I totally understand how much work it is. But when you get it set up, it is a good, consistent income source for you. So.
That's the idea. It's a lot of work. It doesn't make a lot of money. So the only way I began quickly realizing when I started doing the math that the only way to make it successful as a property management company is you need the doors. And so that's been the biggest challenge for me and for us, is that with the management company, is getting real about that point. And then, so if you have we need the doors, but to support the doors, you need the staff. And then, that's something that I know that you are great at. You have a lot of experience with getting recruiting talent and hiring. But for me, it's been a learning experience. I had to start from scratch and learn all that this year. So it's been a long, long, long journey.
Well, you're 8 months in at 33 doors, not bad. So how are you getting your doors?
Doors, Google, phone calls. Actually, we're getting. You always know you're doing something right when you get referral business.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we're finally at the point where we're starting to get multiple owners that are referring their friends and family to us. So that's a great honor. That feels really good. So we're getting referral business.
Awesome, man. Hey, man,
paying for some of the leads. We're paying. Actually, some of them we're paying for too.
Oh,
so,
excellent. Yeah, I mean, hey, like you said, just like real estate is about transactions and lead gen, property management is about getting doors, and you got to lead gen those too, right? So
yeah, absolutely. It's just, the same in that sense.
Excellent. So, man, since you started at Keller Williams, I've seen you go up and up and up, and it's been super proud to watch you do that. And thank you for sharing your time with us here. I really appreciate that. So. One last question. Any parting thoughts? Say there's an agent in this market that's really struggling with their business. What would your advice be to them? So,
Honestly, just pick up the phone and call 10 people per day. That's all you need to do. And I have told this to other agents, newbie agents, that like don't distract yourself with there's a million different when you become an agent, especially when you're new. It's for me it was utterly confusing and it stressed me out how many people were trying to just sell me stuff. Like,
Yeah.
agents are probably the number one most targeted. There's always
Sales
people trying to
tactic.
sell you CRMs and marketing programs and all this. Brokers calling you and work for us. No, do this, do that, and do open houses and all. Just forget all that. Just call people. Just call if you can't if you don't already have 10 people in your sphere, your friends or family, then go host some open houses and get the leads and start following up with them until you get a client, and then get referral. And just if you don't have if you're you don't have to pay for leads. In fact, if you're new, don't do that.
Yeah.
And it's a waste of money. And try to stay away from referral fees, because you have to that's a waste of your hard-earned all your you're putting in hundreds of hours, and don't pay 20, 30, 40% of that. Just don't give it away. But just pick up the phone and call people and just be consistent. 10 calls a day.
Awesome.
Literally. That's it's that easy in my mind, honestly.
I appreciate it. So everyone out there, thank you, Dennis. I really appreciate it. My name is Jon Barnato. I'm team leader of KW California Premier. We're a large brokerage here in the Sacramento area. If you want to learn more about Dennis or doing things, but I want to do one last question here is you're been part of KW for a few years now. Why do you hang your license with us? What do you enjoy about Keller Williams? What do you love about Keller Williams being here? So
I honestly, in a couple, in one word, it's the support. I like the support. I could say a lot of great things about Keller Williams, but I just appreciate the support. If there's, I'm not going to mention names or I'll just say that other brokerages do not give the support that KW gives, and especially the Natomas office. So I'm very, I consider myself to be very grateful, and I'm proud to be a part of the winning team there.
Yeah, and I appreciate you being part of our family this long. So if you're interested in growing your business like Dennis has over the years, or maybe even interested in property management or things like that, I'd love to hear from you. I have a Mega Agent team myself that runs. I'm 7th level. They run themselves. I don't do much day-to-day now, but now I coach a lot of client agents such as Dennis here on how to be successful and build teams. And I'm happy to do that for you. Please message me if you're interested. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, everyone.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thanks, John. Take care.